Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the card of today for the 26th of April 2016. I've used the Golden Tarot again today. I just felt drawn to them for some reason. And as soon as I picked them up, I went to shuffle and two cards fell out. So they're the cards that we've got today. The first card that we have is Strength. And the second card that we have is the Hermit. Quite interesting because within the tarot story, they actually come after each other. So the Hermit comes after Strength, so that's quite interesting. But we'll look at the Strength first and then sort of see what they say together. So when we come to Strength here, this is all about sort of going within to find the strength to survive, life will throw us trials and challenges, and we can't stop them. But what we can do is learn how to endure them. And by ones that we've learned in the past, we can then take them lessons into our present and into our future and know that we will get through it. I think everybody, there isn't anybody who is immune to going through trials and tribulations, but everybody gets through it, and eventually the hard times that we had, we sort of forget them in a way, or I don't think we forget them fully, but we take what we need from them, and we take the positive from them, and we take the strength that we gained during them as well, So this card is like I say, it's all about this inner strength, If we have a look at it, the lady is sitting there and she has the lion. Now, if we look closely, we can see she's actually holding the lion's paw. Now, this just didn't happen overnight. It's not just a friendly lion. She has endured being scared of the lion, like when she was suddenly presented with it. She has then learned how to tame it, and it has then became a friend. So this is sort of what we need to do with fear, I would say. Face it head on. Learn how to be the master of it, and then use fear as our friend. I think it was Jim Morrison that said, once we expose ourselves to our deepest, darkest fears, they lose power. And that's it. That lion could have been powerful. It could have went to attack her or whatever. But by her just taking the time to actually, work with it rather than work against it, they have became friends and became allies. And in a way, if we look at this, the lion is actually protecting her. He's sitting over her. He seems to have a coat of arms on his back. So he is actually her protection now. So this is her strength, her strength is her protection. She has the infinity symbol above her head here. So this again, this talks about, it's eternal, it's infinite. But this is saying that this strength will be used. It's been used in the past, it will be used in the future, and it will be used in the now. It's your best friend at the moment, I think, your strength. If we have a look at our clothing is all gold, and gold is all about endurance. The color gold. Often, if you need to get through something, if you need strength, then meditate on the color gold, and it always seems to help. It's a color of the highest power as well. So it's a very, very spiritual card, this, as well as the Hermit is as well. So this is a real sort of I don't know, this is about you, this is about your connection, this is about your belief, and this is about your faith, I feel, as well. This lady would not have known her own strength had she not come face to face with this lion. So like I said before, this is about facing your fears head on. We also have a white horse in the background as well. The white horse, it's all about purity. Whenever we see white in tarot, it's always about purity and innocence in a way. But the white horse it's very, very powerful, but yet it's vulnerable as well. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, that we have power in our vulnerability. Too often within life, we try to put this armor on. We say we're strong and nothing can get in, and that isn't right. Sometimes showing your vulnerability is actually a sign of true strength. you know, because you're not scared to show it. You know, when you are strong, you're not scared to show any emotions that you're having, and you're not scared to show them to the outside world. So this is what this white horse is talking about as well. And it's also, if we think within fairy tales and old folklore, people usually ride a white horse when they're a hero, you know, the knight in shining armor comes up on a white horse, you know. And this is it. So this is about being your own hero. You know, you don't need anybody to fight your battles for you. You can't hide behind anybody and expect them to sort it out. This is about you standing strong, standing on your own 2 feet and tackling whatever comes at you. And this is where you will gain your strength. If you have somebody else fighting your battles for you all of the time, you never learn how to do it yourself, you know. So this is what this card is saying. You need to be your own hero here, you know. Be vulnerable. Know that you will endure whatever is being thrown at you at the moment, you know, because it's these last few months, it's been it's like a roller coaster. There's so many highs and so many lows with it, but this is all part of the journey. And then we get on to the Hermit, you know, which again, the Hermit it's all about the journey, you know. And what this Hermit is done, you know, he's telling you that this is really a time for reflection, for contemplation, you know, and for self-acceptance as well. You know, once you accept yourself fully, this is your flaws, this is your quirks, this is everything, then you are strong, because then nobody can pinpoint them, and that will not make you feel weak. I mentioned vulnerability before. There's a very big difference between vulnerability and weakness, you know, and once we are able to see that, we are happy to embrace our vulnerability, and we realize that we aren't weak at all. And like I say, once we accept all of our quirks and our flaws, then nobody can sort of pick on them and make us feel inferior, you know, because once we've accepted that, you know, this is part of me, and you know, it actually is what makes me a whole, you know. So that's what you've got to think with this. When I look at this card, especially in this deck, it always reminds me of Francis of Assisi. um I'm not religious in any way, but I really do like the story of Francis of Assisi. What he done was he gave up all of his worldly possessions, everything. I think he was very rich. Give them all up and went off to live in nature. And he lived with the animals, and he lived with himself, and he really found peace, and he found true happiness. Um, One of the quotes that I love by Francis of Assisi is, he said, start by doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. So this is very much like the Yogi Bhajan, when he's like, when the pressure is on you, start, and when the time is on you, start, and the pressure will be off. So this is about doing what needs to be done. Then you will see that it can be done, and then you open yourself up to things that you didn't even believe could be done. And this was what Saint Francis of Assisi actually found when he was out in nature as well. He also said that it is within giving that we receive. He had a very, very open heart. Although he had no material riches, he'd given them all away. He gave love. That was something that he had. He had it in abundance, and he would give that to everybody he met. And in turn, you know, people were attracted to him, and this is how he lived this happy, content life, you know. So this card, whenever it comes up, it's always, I mean, if we have a look, he's got the light shining there as well. And I always seen, I mean, there is a lot of darkness within this card, but again, I've said we have to experience this. So when this card is coming up, it's his light that he has there, his guiding light, is what will get him through the dark night of the soul. I mentioned the dark night of the soul the other day, and this is when we are in that transition from our old life into the new. We are going up a level in consciousness, and it's a struggle, and it's very hard. But throughout his contemplation, through taking time by himself, through going out in nature. Nature is one of our greatest places where we can connect. If you have a problem, if there's something going over in your head, get yourself out to the woods, get yourself out to the beach, get yourself out where there's greenery, where there's water, and just take time to sit and listen, and your inner voice will actually come out. Nature is where we are connected. I spoke about my friend the other day that I met who is living in Peru, and we talked quite a lot about the respect he has for the plants there. He works on an ayahuasca retreat, and it was how the plants are they need to be honored because they are giving us a massive gift. And if you think the plants, they take in, I'm going to get this completely wrong because science is not my thing, but what we breathe out, the plants breathe in, and then they breathe out what we need to breathe in. So without them, then we would cease to exist. So this is what I'm saying. Nature is a huge, huge part. And sometimes when we're in this material world, all cars, computers, everything like that, sometimes it's nice to just take ourselves away and be in the wilderness, really. If you have a look at any of the great spiritual teachers, Buddha, Jesus, whoever, they all went off to find themselves, and this is what the hermit is talking about. He is gaining a new level of understanding as of who he is and what it is he wants as well. So this is about really being truthful to yourself, being clear on where you want to go. And this card usually comes in when we come to a point in our life when we really start to question the status quo. We know that there's something deeper. We don't know what it is, but we know that this just isn't it, and that the hermit has actually gone on his search for it. He's on his journey, So it can be quite solitary at times, this. But that is good, because when we are alone, we are only left with our thoughts. Years and years ago, I had a TV in every room, and whichever room I went into, I would put it on, or I had music on, or whatever, anything at all to drown out my thoughts and not listen to myself. And now I sit sometimes for hours with nothing, and that's because I feel safe to do that. In the past, I didn't want to hear what I was saying because it was going against the way I was living. So this is what the hermit is. Take time to listen to that inner voice of yours, because what it is telling you is very beneficial and it's very truthful as well. So you need to be prepared to hear the truth from yourself. Something may have happened recently as well that has made you question. I'm sure I mentioned this yesterday. So it's sort of like you've been given a little nudge to wake up and take notice, and really evaluating what it is you want. The cards all this week have actually been about this. We remember after the death of Prince and things like that. It's really like this wake-up call in where do I want to be and who do I want to be as well. So this is real evaluation. A lot of head stuff going in here, but it's really like, it's sort of like growing up a little bit. I always say never grow up, but this is, you don't have to grow up into an adult sense. I think sometimes by growing up we become more childlike, because we develop a lot more skills as well, when we take this time to contemplate, patience being one of them. And this is a massive thing within this card as well. It's being patient, it's trusting and believing, in yourself, and believing that things will get better, but also having the patience. I think it's in the Course in Miracles where they say, those who are sure of the outcome can afford to wait without anxiety. And this is exactly what the hermit does. So this is really, these two cards together are about knowing that you have the inner strength to get through anything, about mastering your emotions. And I don't mean blocking them, I mean accepting every single one of them, you know, standing on your own 2 feet and knowing that you are your own hero and that you are on this journey by yourself. You may have friends and family around you, and that is great, but you are still alone, if that makes sense. But that's not a bad thing, because once you are able to be alone with yourself, and if you are happy in those moments and you are happy with your own company and you're enjoying the company that you're keeping, this is when you have taken a huge step on your journey. You know, not many people can actually be alone with themselves and be content. So quite, like I say, spiritual cards today, quite deep again. You know, we seem to, I said life was a roller coaster, the cards are a roller coaster. You know, they're giving really positive lessons, then they're giving deep ones, but that is the journey of the tarot. You know, that is what's so beautiful about it. But with this, it's just take time to contemplate. You know, let your strength shine through, let that light that you're holding, or that you're holding inside of you, let that be your guide. And you know, just really take time to contemplate today. I think that's what it is. But don't let fear get in the way of it neither. You know, as I've said before, be fearless, and then once you're fearless, you can take on anything, you know, even the lion standing in front of you, which will eventually be your friend. So I hope you like them cards. If anybody would like a personal reading with myself, please inbox via Facebook or email me at lovebuddhatarot@aol.co.uk. I do phone and Skype readings. Please subscribe to my channel as well. There's been a little lack of comments lately. Where are all the comments? I want to know what's going on with you. You know, if there's something you're liking about these videos, if there's something that you're not liking about them. So come on, send some comments. I want to connect with you all. So like I say, I will be back tomorrow with the card of today. I hope you like those cards. You know, spend some time by yourself today and sort of realize what you've gone through in the past, and that you're still standing, and know how strong you actually are. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Sat Nam.